Chapter 26. My hands shake and my heartbeat pounds in my ears as the timer counts down from 10. I equip my shield over my shoulder, hoping it'll block anything that flies my way from behind. The timer hits 0 and a cannon blast initiates the start of the race. For the next few moments, everything is pure chaos. Merlin leaps off my shoulder and flies high into the air. Fenrir jumps to the side and races away from the group. Something hits me in the shoulder and my vision goes red. 1/10 of my health is gone. I cast Haunted Earth and Mud Pits over my shoulder without looking, hoping to snare anyone who attempts to follow me. Gunfire and the whir of spells fill the air. I focus on getting away from the madness, but take one last look behind me. Shit! I snared the princess. I don't know how. She was in front of me only moments before. An orc riding a large boar cuts her down with a stone axe. My stomach rises, and I think I might vomit. On second glance, I realize it's not her, and breathe a sigh of relief. The dead elf hangs limp, still strapped into the silver steed. In the chaos, it's hard to tell the two elves apart. Lightning bolts down from the sky, sending bodies flying through the air in a violent explosion. The crack of thunder that follows is deafening. Several bodies lay scattered on the ground. Raiken stands among the crowd, unafraid. He raises his hands into the air and black smoke surrounds him. The mounts of the fallen competitors rise up and trample those who've been knocked to the ground. I see Orden's glowing warhammer just before he's overtaken by the mob. Raiken turns and races away, a dozen undead mounts following him. The dots of other players scatter across my map. A handful are in front of me. There's no official track or road for us to follow, only an end goal. I plan to stay as far away from everyone else as I can. In the top of my vision, there's a counter showing me my place in the race and how many competitors are left. It said 5 of 99 before the race started. Now, I'm 11 of 65. Several players passed me while I ran to safety. Almost 1/3 of our competition was wiped out from the start. I open my messages to contact Alicia, but they're grayed out. Obviously, the developers won't let us communicate. Merlin flies high overhead, a speck against the blue sky. I can't risk merging with him right now, but perhaps later. I can use him to get a better view of where everyone is. We've scattered across the land, and no one is visible in my immediate vicinity on my map. Trails of dust float into the air up ahead. One of them must be the princess. Raiken is somewhere behind me. I'll need to keep an eye out for him. The bastard will murder me the first opportunity he gets. Fenrir keeps a steady pace. The last thing I want is to tire him out early in the race. He isn't blessed with the same stamina I have from my dwarven boots. If he gets too tired, I'll have to wait for him to recover. The first leg of the race takes place beside the sea. The ground is sandy, and we pass several cacti interspersed between other prickly bushes. It's not quite a desert, but it's close. Judging by the marker on the map we're supposed to follow, the trail we're on leads away from the ocean, across the desert and towards the mountains. The desert will test Fenrir's endurance the hardest, especially if there's no food or water. We got this, boy. I run my fingers through the hair between his ears. Several others have dropped out of the race. I'm now 10 of 60. Suddenly, we stop moving. I turn around, expecting to see someone who's snared us with a spell, but instead, empty terrain surrounds us. I try to make Fenrir move, but he goes nowhere. When I look down, I see his feet are stuck in the sand. He struggles to move, and they sink deeper. Quicksand. Fenrir slowly sinks deeper and deeper as he struggles to free himself. His efforts to break free only cause the sand to suck us down further. I need to calm him. Easy, boy. I need you to listen. We can get out of this, but we're gonna have to remain calm. Do you understand? The wolf's struggles cease, and we stop sinking. I search for anything nearby that can pull us out. I could jump off, but then I'd only have 30 seconds in which to pull Fenrir free. I doubt I could do that. I don't even have anything to pull him out with. I search through my inventory, looking for anything that could help. Exactly! I equip Grappler and scan the area for a place to attach to. There are no trees nearby, only a few cacti that I'm sure would snap from the weight of both Fenrir and I. My only shot is a group of boulders some 20 feet away. If I can lodge the grappling hook between them just right, it might hold while I pull us out. Fenrir's hind legs are fully submerged in the sand. I shoot Grappler and the hook lands a few feet past the boulders. I pull the grappling hook carefully towards us. It lodges between two of the boulders and I tug it until it feels secure. Now comes the hard part. We're too heavy for the gun's retractable feature to pull us both out. I have to pull us out without getting off of Fenrir. I clench my legs tight around him and wrap one arm around his neck. With my other hand, I grip the rope tight and pull with all my might. We move a few inches, and then I wrap the rope around my hand by twisting my wrist. I do this several times, and it feels like we're escaping the quicksand. There's a grating sound of metal on rock, and then the line goes limp. The grappling hook flies loose and comes at me like a bullet, hitting me in the head. My vision goes red for a second, and then we sink a few more inches into the quicksand. "Damn it!" I yell, even though I know no one can hear me. Merlin has returned and sits upon a nearby cactus. The important thing is to focus and make sure we get out of the bind we're in, but I can't help but notice I'm now 40 out of 58. We have the speed to catch up, but first we have to get out. I retract the grappling hook and fire again. It lands a few feet past the boulders, and I pull until it seems like a snug fit. "Merlin, go sit on the hook." Merlin hoots and then hops from the cactus to the boulder. "Make sure it's in there good." He looks down at the hook and then moves it a small ways to the left. "Good job." I pull until the grappling hook is tight and try again. Inch by inch, I pull myself and Fenrir closer to the edge of the quicksand. My stamina bar hovers at 1%, never depleting, but never building back either. My arms strain with each pull until I'm certain they'll rip to shreds. My opponents continue to pass me until I'm 55 of 57. People keep dropping off. How many of us will make it to the next round? Fenrir's muscles quiver when we reach the bank, and he's able to dig his paws into the earth. He lifts us both out of the quicksand and shakes out his fur. I have to hold tight to keep from falling off. Merlin takes flight again, my silent guardian in the sky. A green dot appears on my map. Someone's nearby. I equip my axe and shield, and Fenrir moves in their direction. A small pony trudges along, slow and steady. "Orden! Esil! Why are you so far back here?" he asks. "Never mind that. How in the hell are you alive? The last I saw of you, you were being trampled by Riken's undead mounts." "Haven't you learned anything? Dwarves are hard to kill. Me and Penny here barely survived, but we made it. Been trudging along ever since. To tell you the truth, I knew I never had a chance in hell of winning the race, but finishing it, that's a different story. You best be getting along now, though. A wolf like that, you don't belong back here with me." You sure? We could cruise on in together, I joke. "That's not your style. You've got something to prove, whether you know it or not. I saw that since day one." He's right. I'm gonna fight tooth and nail until this race is over. If there's a chance in hell I can win, I'm gonna do it. Chapter 27. The first person I catch up to rides a motorcycle. A crossbow's hung over her shoulder, a black bandana covers her face, and her jet black hair whips in the wind. A painted tiger claws out from the back of her leather jacket. She's straight out of some post-apocalyptic world. User Polly, level 49. Her motorcycle roars so loud that she doesn't even hear us when Fenrir catches up to her. A swift swing of my axe depletes half her health and knocks her to the ground. The motorcycle keeps rolling until it hits a rock and flips end over end. Polly stands up, cursing and waving her hands. She pulls her crossbow and aims it at me. The bolt fires with a crack and darts by, only inches from my head. She's a much easier target now that she's on the ground. I cast Haunted Earth, rooting her in place. Waterfall takes care of the rest. 54 out of 56. From here on out, if they're not my friend, they're my enemy. Every person I let slip by into the next round is another threat down the road. I'm not going to let Buzz's mother die because I played it nice. Game on. I pass several other players over the next hour. Most are far enough away that it would cost more time to chase them down than if I just keep riding ahead. However, I do catch a level 56 paladin riding a warhorse. He puts up a good fight, healing himself and damaging me to 50% health. But in the end, I'm too much for him. 47 out of 55. The oceanside terrain gradually turns to desert. plant life is sparse, and eventually, even the cacti die out. It becomes a sandy wasteland. The sun bears down from overhead, causing Fenrir's stamina to wane. I lower his speed just a tad, and he keeps his stamina steady. I pass a gravestone sticking out of the sand, reminding me that I'm not the only one playing for keeps. Sand and dust fill the air up ahead. 3 people are engaged in combat. An eagle soars through the air, its rider shooting arrows at whoever's on the ground. As I get closer, the dark figures on the ground become clearer. A dark-skinned man with dreads rides a lion. He tosses spears at the other rider. A large lizard thrashes about in the sand. Clink! The lion and the eagle are teaming up to take her down. I urge Fenrir to go faster, and we race across the sand. By the time I arrive, Clink is down to a quarter of health. Blood drips from both her and the basilisk, turning the sand copper. I switch to my spear and throw it with as much force as I can muster. A direct hit in the lion rider's back causes him to fall from his mount. Clink climbs off the basilisk, her twin warhammers glowing red. I let her have her vengeance and focus on the eagle overhead. The woman rider swoops down, firing a volley of arrows in my direction. One hits Fenrir in the leg, causing him to yelp. I show the woman a gesture with my hand and switch to grappler. I fire off a few laser beams in her direction, and she soars higher in the air. With her out of the picture for a moment, I turn to help Clink. She and the dreaded man are both down to about 10% health. They need to get on their mounts soon or they'll be disqualified. One of my laser beams hits the dreaded man in the back. I equip grappler in my left hand and my axe in my right. Fenrir pounces next to the man, and I slash down between his neck and shoulder, ripping him apart. He falls to the ground, and my XP bar levels up. A metallic orange 23 flashes across my vision. Clink's basilisk has run off into the desert. "Grab my hand," I say. "I'm going to toss you." She extends her arm as I ride by, her hands clenched together, and I rocket her through the air towards the basilisk. She lands on its back, and the beast thrashes even harder.
"Made it!"
she bellows, a smile on her face. The smile fades into a grimace, and she falls off her mount, an arrow protruding from her back. "No!" I scream. She killed my friend. Anger flares through me as the eagle swoops down in my direction. I search for Merlin and tell him without words to go for her eyes. The eagle swoops towards me, and his talons dig into my shoulders. Red paints the edge of my vision, and a timer counts down in large numbers, telling me how long I have until I'm disqualified. I slash at the eagle with my axe, and he drops me. As I fall through the air, I see Merlin clawing at the rider's face. I fire the grappling hook, and it wraps around the eagle's neck. My weight takes away its balance, and we both tumble towards the ground. I hit the sand with a thud, and my vision goes red again. 20 seconds until I'm disqualified. The eagle regains its balance and pulls at the rope cinched around its neck. Fenrir runs towards me out of the corner of my eye. I take the rope in my hands and begin pulling hard. The eagle's strong, but it can't match my strength. The woman can't aim at me because I'm directly beneath her. Foot by foot, I pull the eagle closer to the ground. 10 seconds. 5. Fenrir comes to a stop beside me, and I climb on his back. I urge him to go in the opposite direction the eagle's facing. I grab hold of the saddle with one hand and hold the rope with the other. He jumps hard, and the motion pulls the eagle from the air, turning it upside down, and slams both the bird and rider hard into the sand. Haunted earth roots the woman to the ground. 3 swings of my axe later, and she moves no more. 45 out of 50. Merlin lands on my shoulder, hooting softly in my ear. He feels the pain inside me of watching Clink die after trying so hard to save her. Clink's death replays through my mind as we trek across the desert. The way her face changed from happiness to pain is etched in my memory. She may not be truly dead, but she's one less ally I'll have going forward. The desert stretches on forever. The mountains in the distance seem no closer no matter how far I ride. I pass several people, though I never see them. 37 out of 49. Less and less of us by the minute. How many of those deaths is Riken responsible for? Once we make it through the desert, I take a moment to allocate my new stat point into agility. The bonus speed boost works on Fenrir, and I can feel his pace quicken. The desert fades abruptly into rocky mountains. When I reach the peak of the first mountain, life returns. A vast array of evergreens and fog abound for miles. It's hard to see much other than the outline of the mountains. This is the last leg of the course, but there's no telling how far it stretches. If the other sections are any indicator, it'll take a few hours at least. We start our descent, and I'm startled by the clop of hooves on stone. Several goats with long horns that curl back around, like Riken's helmet, balance themselves along the steep incline of the mountain ridge nearby. Mountain Ram, level 37. I don't want to fight them, but their leader is very protective of their territory. He rushes towards us, head bent down. Fenrir dodges out of the way at the last moment, and I swing my axe. I only take out 1/10 of its health. It should have been more. The ram turns and charges again. I attack, and again, only 1/10 of his health is damaged. I use mud pits to slow him, and then haunted earth and waterfall. The combo takes out 40% health. I switch to my spear and attack, thinking it may just be my axe, but I still only do a sliver of damage. My spells work fine, but something's wrong with my attacks. I kill the ram after a few more hits. I'm careful to only lure one ram away, but I need to know what's going on. I cycle through all of my weapons, and no matter what, it's like my strength has disappeared. I don't understand what could have caused this, nor do I have time to find out. We must continue. Fenrir moves through the mountains with ease. He was built for terrain like this. He finds the quickest path, avoiding low-hanging branches that might knock me off. I pass 2 more unseen players. 35 of 48. Over half of us have dropped out in the first 2 stages of the race. At this rate, only a handful will remain by the time it's over. I force Fenrir to go faster, depleting his stamina more and more. We climb another mountain. From the top, fog and a mist hang in the valley, making it impossible to see anything. Now's the time to merge with Merlin. I instruct Fenrir to attack anything that comes near me. He can only fight once every 24 hours, but I need him to keep me safe for the next 30 seconds. If he has to use the ability, now would be worth it. Hopefully nothing shows up. The next thing I know, I'm soaring high in the sky. The fog is only a glassy layer, and I can see to the forest floor. Fenrir guards over my body at the mountain behind me. Far ahead, I see a group of people traveling together. Close to 10 of them ride in a pack, the armored bear in the lead. They must have decided to group up in order to make sure they all make it through. Ahead of them, I see the princess. She's alone. It looks like she's in first place, but the group behind her is gaining ground. To the left is Riken. His undead horde has grown larger. The nightmare moves with great speed, cutting a diagonal path towards the large group. Does he hope to join them or kill them? The rest of my competitors are scattered among the mountains, careful to stay away from each other. Past the mountains, there's a green valley. That must be the final leg. Several portals stretch across in a line. I bet they transport each player back to the start. I return to my body and we take off again. With a little luck, I might be able to catch up. Trees pass by in a blur as Fenrir sinks his claws in the ground, tossing up dirt and rocks with each thrust. Once we're out of the mountains, I spot the first group a mile ahead. Fenrir is faster than all of their mounts. It's a balancing act between speed and stamina, but the finish line is only a few miles ahead. Riken's horde approaches the group from the left. A black cloud surrounds him as he moves in like the angel of death. The group must know they can't outrun him because they turn to fight. I give them a wide berth as I approach, since I still don't know what's wrong with my attack. I'm several hundred yards away when the 2 groups face off, neither one making the first move. I slow down, giving them a wide berth, but using my enhanced hearing to make out a few words from the group with the bear. "What should we do?" "I don't know. He's taken out so many people. He's practically his own army." "How do you even kill a Death Knight?" The nightmare neighs, and a cone of fire erupts from its nose, scorching one of the horses and its rider in flames. A few seconds later, it crumbles to the ground. The armored bear steps forward. The gnome that rides on its back holds a staff in one hand, and his hawk perches on the other arm. With a wave of his hand, the hawk flies into the air. The gnome casts a spell on the hawk, and it bursts into flames, flying through the undead mounts and setting them aflame. The bear rears up on its hind legs, and the gnome holds on tight. The bear swings with its massive paws, ripping chunks of undead flesh off anything dumb enough to approach. The rest of the group sits back in awe. Riken is the biggest threat in the tournament right now. Part of me wants to go help, but not knowing what's wrong with my attack and if I'd be able to hurt him at all has me hesitant. I urge Fenrir to go faster, all the while keeping my eyes on the showdown. Riken sends all the undead mounts at the other group. Many of them are ripped apart by the bear, some fall to other combatants, and a few make it through, taking down 2 men on horses. Now Riken stands alone against 6. He moves motions and arms spring from the earth, grabbing 2 of the mounts by the feet. The horses fight for freedom, but the rotting hands refuse to let go. Riken charges and then disappears. The Nightmare and Riken are both gone, vanishing into thin air. A moment later, they reappear between 2 riders. Riken's broadsword moves with speed that nothing that big should have and slashes both in quick succession before he disappears again. Is that the Nightmare's special ability? Both riders fall off their mounts. The bear swipes at something we cannot see, and when Riken reappears, a large gash runs down the side of his mount. 4 remain against Riken. The gnome and bear, a swordsman and a cowboy, both on horses, and a robot riding some futuristic hovercraft. The cowboy swings his lasso and tosses it around Riken. It glows white-hot and constricts, squeezing Riken tight. He shoots a barrage of bullets that ding against the Death Knight's armor. The swordsman charges Riken at the same time several sonic beams shoot from the robot's hands. A few feet from Riken, the swordsman raises his sword to attack. Steam rises from Riken's armor, the lasso cooking him alive. His orange eyes glow bright beneath his helm. The sword is inches from hitting Riken when he breaks free of the lasso, snapping the ends into frays. The swordsman slashes across Riken's body, but it has no effect. The sonic beams catch Riken in the chest, knocking him from his horse. The bear moves in, sensing his opportunity. If they can keep him on the ground for long enough, he'll be disqualified. Riken equips a large black shield emblazoned with a silver skull, and thrusts it forward each time the bear attacks. The bear's claws scrape against the metal to no effect. The 4 mounted warriors surround the Death Knight. Can they actually defeat him? Riken drops to one knee and places his hands against the earth. A loud buzz fills the air and the earth opens, spilling thousands of black moths from its core. They surround all 4 warriors, inflicting who knows what kind of pain. The cowboy falls from his mount, his HP at 0. Riken equips his broadsword and turns toward the swordsman. The swordsman has had enough. He turns to run, but Riken cuts him down. Flashes of light emanate from the robot's eyes, and his hands transform into blasters. He fires a volley of beams that pound into Riken, pushing him to the ground. The Nightmare attempts to return, but the bear blocks its path. Riken must know he's nearly out of time because he runs at the bear, sword raised, and slashes hard. He finds a soft spot between the armor, and a geyser of blood spurts into the air. The gnome casts several spells in Riken's direction, but they explode in the air inches from his armor. Is he using a special ability? The bear stumbles back and forth. The Nightmare returns, and Riken climbs on seconds before he would have been disqualified. The robot fires again, this time spraying a shotgun blast of laser beams across Riken's chest. It barely affects him. How is it that he seems to be getting stronger as the others get weaker? Riken casts a spell, and a blood-red stream flies from his hand to the robot. The robot loses a chunk of health, and Riken's HP regenerates. Lifesteal. He waves his hand again, and the robot moves in slow motion. Riken cuts him down, and electric sparks jump out before the robot's eyes go black. All that's left is the gnome and Riken. The gnome doesn't have a chance. Even after all of that, Riken still has over 50% health. The bear is back on all 4s. He lets out a deafening roar I could hear even without my enhanced senses. The bear paws at the ground, furious. There's no way it's going down without a fight. The 2 mounted warriors face each other. Riken carries his sword over his shoulder. The gnome's staff is pointed forward. Riken charges the bear, and the Nightmare's flaming mane grows bigger. The gnome waves his staff, and an electric current surrounds the bear. He swings at the Nightmare, and lightning shoots from its massive paws, damaging Riken. It swings again, and a second bolt connects, slowing Riken's attack. A third blow stuns Riken in place. The bear bites Riken's shoulder, and the Death Knight loses a third of his remaining health. His orange eyes glow brighter. Is it out of surprise or anger? The bear might just pull it off. The bear swipes again, but Riken parries it with his sword. He retreats a few feet and tosses his sword to the ground. Both of his hands touch together, and a deep purple mist rolls across the ground. The earth rumbles, and hands slowly break through its surface. The cowboy, swordsman, robot, and others rise up, their skin a blackish gray. No recognition registers on their faces as they turn towards the gnome. I hesitate to turn around and engage in the battle. I'm close enough that I could make it in time. If I snare Riken, perhaps the bear can finish him off. In reality, I know it's a fight I can't win. I'm ahead of him, and all I can do is go for the finish line. I continue on as Riken's horde of undead surround the bear and unleash their weapons. The bear falls to the ground. Then Riken turns his head in our direction. I'm not going to die today. Run, Fenrir! I yell, and the wolf hustles faster. I can hear the rhythm of hooves behind me as Riken chases us down. The portal's within sight, so I put everything I have into Fenrir's speed. His stamina drops constantly, and I don't know if we'll make it before he runs out, but we're pulling away from Riken. Right now, that's all that matters. We're only a few feet from the portal when his stamina gives out and we fall to the ground. I pull on his body, but without my strength, I'm unable to lift him. The timer ticks down in my vision, 25 seconds until disqualification. Fenrir looks at me, sorrowful that we're so close. I grab around his neck and pull. We only have a few inches at a time, and I can see Riken getting closer. If I don't do something, we're dead, and I can't die this close to the finish line. I look through my inventory. Is there anything I can use to help? Substance, fire whiskey. Buff, plus 2% attack for the next hour. I chug the whiskey and step between Fenrir and Riken. The Death Knight has his sword raised, ready to cut me down. I take aim and cast Haunted Earth. Roots spring from the ground and catch Riken at the perfect moment. The buff from the whiskey doesn't reset my strength, but it gives me enough that I can move Fenrir a foot at a time. The countdown timer hits 1 just as I drag both of our bodies through the portal. Chapter 28. Alicia grabs me by the arm.
You made it!
She screams, hugging me tightly. Fenrir begins to stir, his stamina returning. A few seconds later, Riken appears through the portal. He looks down at me, his eyes glowing behind the darkness of his helm.
You!
His voice is deep and cavernous, hollow. He raises his hand, and I feel the ground shaking beneath me. Hands reach out from the earth. This is where I die. At least I made it through the second quest before he kills me. A silver orb surrounds us, and the hands crumble against it, turning to dust and falling to the ground.
It's over, Riken. Go somewhere else.
The princess is furious. I've never seen her lose her cool before. She's vicious, her bow raised and pointed at Riken. Her crimson face matches the fire inside her, and her unicorn lowers its head, ready to attack. The shield protecting us must be from it.
Okay, sister. We'll meet again, soon.
Riken drops his sword and trots away. Sister? What the hell? Why did he call you sister? I ask.
Because Riken is my brother. He's a real ass and we don't talk, not since he moved out and became obsessed with being the best. Dad cut him off to try and teach him a lesson, but by that time Riken was making enough to support himself, so he became an even more self-centered asshat. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Fenrir ran out of stamina escaping her brother. We barely made it through. For the first time, I look around. The stands are chaos as people cheer and yell. Competitors continue to spill out of the portals, and I realize I finished 7th. The last two to emerge are Orden and a cloaked individual riding a camel. When all is said and done, 32 of us make it to the next round. Once the last person is through, my notifications go off like alarm bells. My XP shoots up and I gain another level. I have to wait to check my notifications, though, because Nancy has another announcement for us. She flies down in front of the crowd on her Pegasus. Her voice echoes across the land.
What an exciting and thrilling race! Even better than we could have hoped for. To all of you who made it to the next round, congratulations! And to those of you who didn't, I give you applause for making it this far. You all now have a better understanding of your opponents and what it will take to win. Use this knowledge wisely as you prepare for the next round. You will all be notified when the next stage is complete. Good luck, and as always, never stop leveling.
When the next stage is complete? Does that mean it's not finished yet?
What's next for you, Esil?
Asks Elysia. Me? I'm gonna go home and sleep. I wave to Buzz and Grayson in the stands. They shout something at me, but I pay them no attention. I'm mentally exhausted, and we can talk tomorrow. There'll be plenty of time to discuss strategy then. Merlin hoots at me from my shoulder. In the excitement of trying to escape Riken, I didn't even notice if he made it through the portal with me, but Merlin is a smart bird. We jump through the portal, and I log out. Sleep finds me as soon as my head hits the pillow. I wake up, refreshed and ready to take on the world. Rain patters loudly outside of my apartment. I guess I won't be going outside today. After eating, showering, and stretching, I strap into my haptic suit and log into Pangea. Merlin and Fenrir are excited to see me. It's amazing what a several 100-mile battle race will do to bond man and wolf. I check my notifications from yesterday. There are messages from Buzz, Grayson, and, curiously, the Pangea Online developers. I open theirs first. Greetings, Esil. This message is to inform you that a bug was detected in all characters whose initial class was minor from the mines in Sector 247. The bug has been fixed, and a new patch has gone through effective immediately. Have a good day, and as always, never stop leveling. Pangea Online developers. The next message I read is Buzz's. Esil, bro, things just hit the fan. Apparently the developers found out about our you-know-what and fixed it. We're normal now. Don't know if this message is going to reach you or not. You're about to reach the mountains as I send this. My advice if you get this, don't fight anything. Buzz. Grayson is not so cryptic. Someone ratted us out. Someone who went to Asgard with us. No one else knew about our little secret, so I would watch who you trust out there. Whoever told on you obviously hopes to benefit from not having you in the race. If you see anyone, don't fight, just run. Good luck. Grayson. There's one more from Elysia, dated this morning.
Esil, we need to talk ASAP. Elysia.
That's ominous. I try to wrap my brain around one of my friends betraying my trust. I don't think any of them would do it, not even Glorden or Tinker, who didn't make it into the tournament. I risked my life for Clink and Orden, and yet somehow we were reported. I know it's fair, but that was the only advantage I had going into this thing. Without my strength, I'm not strong enough to compete with the others. When Riken can take down 9 players by himself, what chance do I have of getting past him? I send the princess a message, and she replies, agreeing to meet in the Mordican Mountains. After the second quest, my face is even more famous than before. Several people try to stop me as I make my way out of the town square. The princess waits for me in a nearby field. I come across her battling a harpy. Her arrows soar through the air, taking down the shrieking bird woman in a few hits. Her face drops when she sees me.
I'm so sorry,
she says, running up to me. Tears stream down her face. I wrap my arm around her and pull her close. Why are you sorry? It's not your fault. With me being so famous right now, it was bound to catch up with us. She cries even harder.
You don't understand. It was me.
You? What do you mean?
I was asking my dad questions. If it was possible for characters to be created with hidden stats. I told him about how all of you were strong and that it didn't make any sense to me, since you worked in the mines. He said they never paid much attention to the mines, but then he looked into it and found that there was a bug. Apparently it had been there a really long time. So then they fixed it, and that's why you lost your strength. I'm so sorry.
Her words are like a blow to the gut. It takes a moment to find my words. You're the reason why I don't have a chance at winning the tournament anymore? An anger flares up in me that I can't control. I know she didn't mean for this to happen, but it doesn't excuse it. I told her to just let it go. She should have. You're the reason why Buzz's mom is going to die. Damn it, Elysia! I had a real shot at saving her. Now I'm just a bug that's going to get stepped on? I turn to walk away. I've said enough hurtful things to her already, but I know if I stay, I'll say more.
Let me make it up to you,
she squeaks. Make it up to me? Can you give me my strength back? Can you get me 30 levels by the time the next quest starts? I don't think so. You've done enough. With that, I take off. I can still hear her crying as Fenrir bolts away. Merlin gives me an annoyed hoot from my shoulder. He knows I'm being unfair. Why couldn't she just keep her mouth shut? I message Buzz and Grayson, and they both agree to meet me after work. While I wait, I travel to various worlds and level as much as I can. Even though I don't have a shot, I can't just give up on Buzz's mom. I still have to try. Fighting is so much harder without my strength. It takes me forever to kill monsters I could defeat in seconds only yesterday. I take more damage and run out of mana more often too. So this is what it's really like to level grind. I'm screwed. I still have my stat point from yesterday. I look at my stats and decide to put it into agility. If I can't hit hard, I'm going to need to be faster. Level 24, Strength 14, Agility 4, Vitality 5, Intellect 6, Dexterity 5, Stamina 0. We meet up at a pub in Midgard. It's Buzz's favorite world now. A burly man wearing chainmail and a leather vest pours frothy ale into our mugs as we sit down at a table near the back.
Sausage will be out in a minute, he grumbles.
Ah, they know me so well, says Buzz. He takes off his dented helm and places it on the table. He takes a sip of the ale, and some of it runs down his black tunic. You left in such a hurry yesterday we didn't get to congratulate you. Or talk about you-know-what. Yeah, about that. I didn't read your messages until this morning.
Any idea who might have ratted you out?
Asks Grayson. He wears his pirate clothes, and the bear tattoo stares out at me between the flaps of his vest. I already know. It was Alicia. She was asking questions, and her dad put the pieces together. I gave her a hard time about it. I'm sorry, Buzz.
What are you sorry for?
He asks with a full mouth, eating the sausage that had just been placed on the table.
You're one of 32 people who are in the final quest. I don't care if you're not as strong as you were. You're smart, and you're one of the luckiest bastards I've ever known.
He's right, says Grayson. You're more than a warrior. You have good spells. You might have the best mount there is. That bird's no slouch either. You may be out-leveled and outgunned, but that's how it's been our whole lives. I don't care if you moved away. You're still a kid from the boxes. You're still a minor. Grayson places a small box on the table. What's this? I ask.
Buzz and I got you a little something. Happy early birthday.
He slides the box across the table. I almost forgot that my birthday's tomorrow. It's never really been a big deal most of my life. I don't know what to say. Thanks.
Quit blabbering and open it, says Buzz.
I open the box, and a small ring falls onto the table. A dark black crystal shines from the thick silver band. Item, Ring of Power, plus 15 attack. Unique ability, double Ring of Power's attack bonus for 30 seconds. After the bonus is up, Ring of Power offers no bonus for 60 seconds.
Maybe this'll help you get out of a bind one day, says Grayson.
Thanks, guys. This means a lot. I don't know what I'd do without these two in my corner.
Don't get all emotional on us. Go out there and learn to kill some monsters.
For the rest of the day, the three of us travel across Midgard, fighting monsters and animals, laughing and having fun. I get better at fighting, adapting to a new style that blends my magic, attack, and defense into a cohesive unit. It's not as easy or as strong as before, but maybe it'll give me a shot. Chapter 29. I'm woken up by a delivery. VR Haptics has sent me a box of new clothes and other stuff for my birthday. I love the shirt with a level 19 on it, but my favorite is a bobblehead of my in-game character holding an axe. Tucked in the bottom of the box, I find a picture of me pulling Fenrir into the portal with a handwritten note on the frame.
Congrats on making it to the final round. We can't wait to see what you have up your sleeve this time. If you only knew. So far, the developers and my closest friends are the only ones who know I lost my strength. With the way I talked to Alicia, I'm not even sure we'd be considered friends at this point. It's great that I made it to 19 years old, but after talking to Buzz and Grayson, my mind is back on the tournament. I probably have the least shot at winning of anyone, but I refuse to give up. When I log into Pangea, my notifications ding like crazy. I have messages from several people wishing me a happy birthday, including Clink, Orden, Gloridon, and Tinker. It's easy to tell when it's someone's birthday in Pangea because a little party hat appears next to their name. I respond to each of them, thanking them for their wishes. I receive a free item from the Pangea Online developers. Item: Birthday Party Hat. Wear this hat to let everyone you meet know it's your special day. Expires at midnight. I equip the hat. It's yellow, with red polka dots and a few metallic ribbons that blow around when I walk. Might as well enjoy it while I can. There's a message from Alicia. The subject says, "Sorry," but I don't open it. She's the last person I want to think about right now. Below her message, there's one from a name I don't recognize. Howard Allen. I don't know how it got through the filter that keeps out messages from anyone not on my friends list. The subject is, "Happy birthday, Esil." My curiosity's piqued, so I open it. Happy birthday, son. This birthday present is 11 years in the making. Heck, I might even forget I've sent it to you by the time you open it. Right now, you're 8 years old, and I'm watching through the window while you play outside with Old Blue. That dog sure does love you. You'll be 19 when you get this, which probably means you're wondering why I didn't send this to you on your 18th birthday, when you were first allowed to explore Pangea with no restraints. The truth is, I wanted you to be able to experience Pangea for a whole year before I gave this to you. I wanted you to make your own choices and find your way in the game. In short, to become the player you want to be. Do you remember when you asked me what I do and I told you I made magic? You were so impressed and fascinated. You told me that you wanted to make magic when you grew up. Hopefully by now you know that what I really do is create the magic items and abilities used in Pangea. Here's the kicker. I made one just for you. We're not technically supposed to do this, but I figured since it'll be 11 years before you get this, hopefully the statute of limitations will be long past. I love you, son, and I look forward to seeing the man you become. Love, Dad. P.S. I've attached a map and a key. Let me know once you find it. For a moment, I can't breathe. I can't move. All I can do is stare at the message in front of me. Fenrir licks my fingers, sensing my unrest. My father was a developer for Pangea Online. Those memories, those dreams, they were all real. The big black dog, his name was Old Blue. That means the woman was my mother, and that they both died in a car accident. Then how did I end up in an orphanage? Why didn't I have family come and take me home? My entire life has been a lie. How did no one know my family? I log out of Pangea and search the web for any information I can find on Howard Allen. Howard Allen, young video game developer for Pangea Online, dies in car crash with wife, leaves behind young son. Car crashes, a thing of the past? Automated vehicles were supposed to be safer. Today, a promising young life was taken when the automated vehicle drove down an embankment, killing both occupants inside. Howard Allen discusses his take on magic and why Pangea was able to win out in the entertainment revolution. Son of distinguished developer disappears after parents die in car crash. There are several articles on my father, many on his work as a game designer and even more on the car crash that killed him and my mother. In all the articles, though, there's no mention of me being there. The articles say that I just disappeared. After the crash, no one could find me. I was there, though. I know I was. I need to go to the orphanage. Maybe they can tell me how I ended up there. I order a taxi, and a few moments later it docks with my door. I climb inside, and it takes me across Civic City back to the boxes. The run-down box that is the orphanage is just as depressing as ever. I call ahead, so they're expecting me. When I step through the door, the room is filled with children with wide eyes. "You're pretty famous around these parts, Esil," says Mr. Green. He's run the orphanage for years. His hair is bald down the center, and 2 white clouds of hair surround his head. I remember him as a stern man, a stickler for the rules and swift with justice to those who'd break them. "It's not very often one of our own becomes one of the most famous players in Pangea. Do you have any advice for those who want to follow in your footsteps?" I didn't come here to give a pep talk. Eat your veggies? Damn it, I forgot they don't get veggies here. I mean, keep your head up and don't stop believing. Can we talk in private, Mr. Green? He leads me down a hall into a small office. "I never thought I'd see you around these parts again. If I had a chance to get out, I'd never come back. So, what brings you here, Esil?" "Sir, how did I end up at the orphanage? Who brought me here?" The question every child wants to know eventually. Why did I become an orphan?" He pauses and touches the tips of his fingers together. "We found you walking the streets. Your head was bleeding and you were mumbling something. You know how unsafe it is out there, and we couldn't just leave you. It took you a few weeks before you were able to talk again. You had no memory of who you were other than your name." "And you didn't think to find out?" My anger rises. How could they not ask questions? "Oh, we asked around. But you know as well as I do how helpful the outside world is to those of us in the boxes. We searched for anyone looking for a missing child. Nothing came up, so the authorities left you with us. I know this isn't the easiest place to grow up, but we did the best we could." No one was looking for me because my parents were dead. My next stop is the Civic City Police Department. If anyone can help me, it'll be them. After an hour wait, someone finally agrees to see me.
"So you're saying that you are the missing son of this developer who died 11 years ago?"
A burly woman with red hair pulled up into a messy bun stares across a plain metal table at me. "Yes."
"You got any proof?
"No."
Any family that can verify your story?"
"No." She taps annoyingly at a pad in front of her.
"What do you want me to do, kid?"
She asks. I don't know. Point me in the right direction?" She taps at the pad some more before speaking.
Here's the deal.
She looks down at the pad as she talks, reading from an article.
Howard Allen and his wife Isabel had no surviving family members. They were both only children, and their parents were deceased at the time of their death. They had only one child, Esil Allen, who you claim to be, but who was never heard from after the accident. 2 years after their deaths, their belongings became property of the state and were auctioned off to the highest bidder. Even if you are who you say you are, the only thing you're heir to is a name. I suggest you drop it and carry on with the life you have."
She stares blankly at me. "So, that's it then? I just let it go?"
"You can go to court and attempt to prove that you're their child, but that would be a long process, and expensive. I wouldn't recommend it. If you are who I think you are, based on the shirt you're wearing and your resemblance to the character in Pangea, then I think you've got bigger problems right now. A lot of people are pulling for the underdog. You don't want to let them down."
I leave the police station and go home, feeling no closer to solving anything than I was before I left. It all seems so hopeless. I have a family I'll never see other than the few memories that sporadically appear. Some people are just destined to be alone, I guess. The worst part is that I'm not that sad. Having never known my family, it doesn't hurt that they aren't there. What hurts is what might have been. My only option right now is to help the family I do have. Buzz and Grayson have been there for me every step of the way, and I'm not going to let them down. Buzz's mom is depending on me. I'm going to take the map and key my dad left me, and I'm going to find the treasure he hid. He said it was a one-of-a-kind spell. Maybe it will help me in the tournament. Once I'm back in Pangea, I message Buzz and Grayson. I want them with me for whatever I find. I equip the map my dad gave me, and it shows up in the bottom left of my vision, opposite my normal map. I also have a physical copy I can hold in my hand. It has several handwritten notes around the edges. The map is labeled Greenwich Gardens, with a 5-digit code written underneath. Scribbled beside the numbers, it says passcode. Greenwich Gardens is a private world. There's no cost to enter, but only those who have the code can go in. I send Buzz and Grayson the code and focus on Greenwich Gardens as I jump through my portal. I stop at a metal door. The silver door has 5 digital number boxes to enter the passcode. I enter 92095. The door hisses and then opens. The portal lets me out in an empty street. A long strip of black pavement with dotted yellow lines stretches out in front of me. Along both sides, dozens of 2-storied houses with white picket fences line the street. Each one has its own defining features: red shutters, a flag with a lion head, a bird fountain. They're all the same, yet all different. "What the hell is this place?" asks Buzz. He takes off his helm and holds it under one arm. His eyes scan the streets and surrounding houses. A red dot glows on the map in my bottom left vision. We're close. This must not be a very big world. Grayson shows up a minute later. I tell them both about the message I got from my father, about the visions and dreams, the orphanage and the police station. They both have wide eyes by the time I'm done. It's a lot to take in. "So you mean to tell me you're the son of some famous developer and essentially have no shot at getting anything out of it?" asks Buzz. "It's more complicated than that," says Grayson. "Have you tried talking to Pangea? Go into their office or anything?" "No. The policewoman made it seem like it was all pretty much hopeless. Everything they owned was sold." "You never know. They could have stock or a percentage of the company. It's worth looking into." "Yeah, maybe when this is all over. It's not like I have any way of proving I'm his son." "Maybe not. But he found you somehow. I'm sure you received a new account at the orphanage, especially if you didn't remember who you were. There was a way for his message to find you. That might be the key." What Grayson says makes sense, but the priority is finding this spell. Grayson's necklaces jingle as we walk down the street. We take a left on Harris Avenue, a right into Wingfoot Place, another right onto Spalding Avenue. Monte Vista Drive is a dead end. A sign on the sidewalk calls it a cul-de-sac. The red dot beams brightly over the house at the end. We walk down the empty street towards the house. It's eerie how there are no people. Everything is so empty. The house we stand in front of is white, just like the others. Flowers hang from a small porch with white railing. A tire swing dangles from an oak tree that towers over the house in the front yard. Blue shutters and yellow curtains adorn the windows. Everything about the house is quaint and beautiful. I turn the doorknob, and unsurprisingly, it's locked. I equip the keycard my father gave me and swipe it through the key reader. The light glows green, and we are allowed to enter. Inside, the house is welcoming. Bright colors and family photos adorn the walls. There are photos of my mother and father, and me. I have a school uniform on in one. I glance down at the left-hand map. It's changed to a floor plan of the house. I can see each room in detail. Squares and circles denote where chairs, tables, and appliances go. The red dot beacons in a room marked Esil's bedroom. Neither Grayson nor Buzz speak as we walk through the house, which adds to the fact that I'm walking through a crypt of my family history. It's a history I don't remember, a history I both long for and know nothing about. I want to be sad to miss this place, but it doesn't come. The bedroom at the top of the stairs has my name engraved on the door. A poster of a wizard casting a spell hangs slightly askew. I twist the doorknob and step into the childhood I never had. I'm floored by the extravagance of it all. 6 stuffed animals are neatly placed on the small bed with blue blankets. A wolf, lion, elephant, and many others stare at me with dead eyes. A mobile of the planets twirls overhead. There are more toys than the entire orphanage had. A computer, a holographic video projector, gaming systems. It almost makes me sick to look at the gluttony of it all. I see Buzz's wide eyes in my peripheral. Look around and see if you see a chest, I say. We look around the room, opening drawers and emptying shelves, searching for any clue to where the spell might be located. We find nothing. I remember the notes on the physical copy of the map and take it from my inventory. Near the bottom, it says, "Turn on the projector." The projector hangs from the ceiling over the bed. I press the power button, and after a few beeps, it comes to life. A blue light shines out and slowly begins to form the outlines of a man. My father. "Hello, Esil. Happy birthday," he says with a smile. "I can't even begin to describe the excitement I feel about the prospect of you turning 19. You're practically a man. I hope the lack of people in Greenwich Gardens didn't freak you out. Not many people go there. It's one of several online storage areas for developers and their families. I thought it was pretty smart that I hide your present there, where only I could leave it. I'm not sure if we'll still be living there once you're grown. Hopefully, being back home brings back a few memories for you. Anyways, I'm sure you're wondering what I created for you at this point. It might not be the most powerful spell ever, but it's one of a kind. Go look in the fridge, and you'll find it. And after you're done, lock the door, and come see me and your mom. Love you, Esil." Grayson puts his hand on my shoulder, a gesture I've grown accustomed to over the past few weeks. I've no doubt that the man on the hologram loved me. I'm sure I had a great life when I was younger, but when it mattered, when it really mattered, Grayson was the one I counted on. "Thanks," I say. He nods. Words aren't needed. "I get that you two are having a moment, but are we going to open the fridge or what?" asks Buzz. "All right, let's check it out," I chuckle. I stare at the gleaming silver fridge. The reflection of me and the two people closest to me look back at us. I still remember the first time I looked in the mirror after I had bought my green tunic. I see the little black axe that adorns the collar that just happened to spur me into buying my own axe. The silver wolf belt buckle that reminds me so much of my first day in the Mordican Mountains. Next to me is Buzz, no longer the debonair steampunker, but still the class clown. His black tunic and dented battle helm better represent the man he's become, a man of character. Behind us stands Grayson, the hardest worker I've ever known. A hard man, but also a caring one. His pirate garb reminds him of a life he once lived, and everything he lost. I pull open the door, and our figures distort. Buzz laughs when he sees what's inside. A tiny chest sits inside a green gelatinous blob. "Oh man," says Buzz, "I like your dad. He put your chest in Jell-O." He bends over, clutching his stomach from laughing so hard. "What is it?" I asked. "It's a dessert." Buzz gasps for air. "He put your birthday present in a dessert." I notice a twitch of a smile as Grayson fakes a cough. I pull out the plate of Jell-O and sit it on the table. The gelatinous food sways back and forth like a wave that refuses to crash. It's cold and sticky as I dig my hands through and grab the chest. It's small, a fraction of the size of the developer's chest I found. "Congratulations, Esil! You've found a hidden chest. You know how this goes by now, so just go ahead and open it. Dad." I open the chest, and a piece of parchment hovers in the air before me. "Item, spellbook. Requirements, not applicable. Activate, yes or no?" I focus on yes, and the parchment disappears. My body vibrates all over, and my vision flashes white. "Congratulations! You have learned the ability Firestorm, ultimate ability. Summons a tornado of fire that deals immense damage. Cost 200 mana per second. Cooldown 2 seconds. Chapter 30. The long-lost son of Howard and Isabel Allen finally resurfaces, playing a game his father helped create, in an attempt to win the prize and save his best friend's dying mother. I want to punch something. I don't know how they found out about my story, but I have been badgered by reporters for the past few hours. Somehow, they're able to sneak by my spam filter and send me messages asking for interviews. They're bothering me on the eve of the biggest day of my life. It had to be someone at the police station who let it leak that I was the son of Howard Allen. This must have led to someone else figuring out my promise to Buzz. And it couldn't have come at a worse time. Earlier in the day, the developers sent out a message telling us that the final stage of the tournament would be held tomorrow. I need a good night's rest to make sure I'm firing on all cylinders, so that leaves me with only a couple of hours to do anything. I elect to spend the time doing nothing. There's not much I can do to help my cause. I can spend the last few hours desperately trying to gain another level and one more stat point, or I can decompress and take stock of my situation. One more stat point isn't going to win me the tournament. The only chance I have is if I follow my instincts and they sit tight. By the time the quest starts tomorrow, I might be the most famous person in it. I'm also the least likely to win. According to the odds makers, I'm ranked 6th because of my finishes in the first 2 challenges, but they don't know that I lost my strength. My story is plastered across every website I visit. It seems everyone loves an underdog. I'm currently level 24, half the level of all but one of the other 31 contestants. From my home portal, I pull up my character sheet, taking stock of all the abilities I've learned since opening the developer's chest. Level 24, Strength 14, Agility 4, Vitality 5, Intellect 6, Dexterity 5, Stamina 0. Lunging Strike, Effect, stuns opponents for 0.5 seconds. Cost 50 mana, cooldown 10 seconds. Resilience. Resilience increases the attack speed of you or an ally for 20 seconds. Cost 50 mana, 20-second cooldown. Mud Pits. Cost 100 mana. Creates a field of mud pits, slowing your enemy's attack and movement speed by 50% for 20 seconds. Cooldown 60 seconds. Inspire Resistance. NPCs in your party will fight with increased fervor. Haunted Earth. Cost 100 mana. Roots spring forth from the earth, rooting your opponent in place for 2 seconds. Cooldown 30 seconds. Waterfall. Cost 200 mana. After a 2-second wait, water pours down from the sky, dealing immense damage to a singular location. Cooldown 20 seconds. Firestorm. Ultimate ability. Summons a tornado of fire that deals immense damage. Cost 200 mana per second. Cooldown 2 seconds. Not too bad. I only wish I had a larger mana pool. I have enough mana to cast roughly 10 spells per battle, or use Firestorm for 5 seconds. With that kind of price to use the ability, I won't be using it unless it's a life-or-death moment. Next, I sort through my inventory, making sure I have all my best items readily available. With my strength gone, some of them aren't as useful as they once were. Item, Meteoric Iron Axe, plus 10 strength, 10% armor penetration. This double-edged axe was forged from the heart of a meteorite. Item, Elvish Battle Spear, plus 12 attack, plus 15% armor penetration. It's long and strong and down to get the killing on. Item, Vampiric Ring, grants 2% lifesteal per attack. To hurt thy enemy is to heal thyself. Item, The Grappler, plus 7 strength, ability, Grapple, fires a grappling hook and attaches to the first object it hits. 30-second cooldown. You'll not get away that easy, bucko. Item, Forgotten Chainmail, plus 12 armor, the relics of a ship lost at sea. Item, Staff of the Water Ancients, plus 20% magic damage on elemental attacks. Item, Benevolent Shield of Healing, plus 10% health, unique ability, double-edged shield. The next attack will be blocked and heal both attacker and defender for 5% health. Cooldown 5 minutes. Item, Ring of Power, plus 15 attack, unique ability, double Ring of Power's attack bonus for 30 seconds. After the bonus is up, Ring of Power offers no bonus for 60 seconds. Most of my items are on the physical damage side of things. The truth is, for a normal level 24 player, I would be pretty strong. I have great items, and most of my stat points are in strength. The problem is, I'm not a normal level 24 player. I'm out of my league. So far out of my league that I'm playing with people who do this for a living. I check the market, a screen visible from my home portal where I can purchase consumable items without having to go into a game world. I fill my inventory with as many potions and buff as I can fit. By the time I'm done, I can outfit a small army with what I've bought. Let's just hope I stay alive long enough to use them. For the rest of the evening, I lie in bed browsing through old articles about my father on the digital pad that VR Haptics sent me. He was very well respected for his age. Some of the ideas he created were responsible for Pangea's success among gamers. He won numerous awards and was said to be pioneering a breakthrough in game design at the time of his death. I wake up to a steadily increasing ding telling me it's time to get up. The pad is still in my hand, open on an article about my father. After showering, I eat a modest breakfast and log into Pangea. Today's the day. A new portal waits for me inside of my home portal. Merlin hops on my shoulder, and I'm out Fenrir. Then we jump through. You are now entering the maze. Please wait for further instructions. I stand in a small enclosure with stone walls on 3 sides. My map is disabled. A black circle with a dot showing my position is all that shows, so I focus and it disappears. An invisible barrier blocks the entryway, preventing me from leaving. Fenrir has disappeared. I feel his presence in my inventory, but am unable to call him to my side. Mounts must be disabled here. Merlin tries to fly out, but an invisible force keeps him from escaping. It's a cloudy day, wherever we are. Thunder rolls in the distance, casting an ominous tone over everything. I can see glimpses of the alley in front of my enclosure. High walls run along each side, making it impossible for anyone to climb or jump over. Torches hang from the walls. My guess? It's going to get dark soon. If I know the developers, this is more than just a simple maze. There will be monsters and challenges, and worst of all, other players. A loud voice booms from the sky overhead. The voice is surprisingly chipper.
Welcome, challengers! It's me, Nancy, again. I can't wait to get this show started. First off, let me tell you a little about the maze. It was designed specifically for this tournament. There are 32 entry points along the outer wall of the maze. At its center, a portal awaits to take you to the crowning ceremony. There will be no mounts allowed within the maze. Contestants will be staggered entry, based upon the results of the last stage. Many challenges await you, depending on the path you take. This is a PvP stage, so be aware of your fellow competitors. In 5 minutes' time, the first person will be allowed to enter the maze. Subsequent contestants will be permitted entry every 10 seconds afterward. Your streams have been disabled and everyone across the world will be watching on the official Pangea Online stream. They can watch a montage or individual players as they choose. Good luck, challengers!
I now see the importance of finishing high in the race. I'll be over a minute behind the first entrant, and poor Orden, he'll be close to 5 minutes behind. The timer in the top middle of my vision counts down from 5 minutes. I try to look out into the alley and see if there's any indication which way I should go. It all looks the same from my vantage point. I pace back and forth across the small enclosure, waiting for my time to come. A loud gong initiates the start of the final round. 10 seconds later, another gong, and another, and another. Feet scuffle down the alley, and I catch a glimpse of the princess as she runs by to the right. Looks like that's the way I'll be going. If the princess sees me, will she take me out? Before I know it, it's my turn. I step out into the maze. It's empty on both sides. The corridors go in both directions for several hundred feet. A half-dozen entrances disappear further into the maze on each side of me. There's no way to know which way the princess went. I go to the right and take a left into the first entrance. When I turn the corner, my vision goes red and I can't move. A tiny blue lizard hisses at me from several feet away, an electric current running along its body. Shocker lizard, level 35. These electric lizards are annoying alone, but when 2 or more group together, they can cause havoc. Luckily for me, there's only one. Merlin swoops down at the lizard and grabs it between his talons. The lizard sparks and forces Merlin to drop it. The stun wears off and Merlin lands on my shoulder, hooting angrily, his feathers ruffled. I equip my spear. Little bugger's small. He can't put up that much of a fight. I use lunging strike and stun him in place. I pull back my spear, readying it for an attack, when my vision goes red again and I freeze in place. A second lizard appears from around the corner. Just my luck. Another gong makes me realize that several other people have entered the maze since this fight began. I'm hit with a bolt of lightning and lose another chunk of health. These 2 reptilian rodents have brought me down to 80% health. I take a potion and a fire whiskey and force the attack. The 2 lizards stand side by side, taunting me. I use Haunted Earth and root them in place, immediately following it up with a waterfall. The combo takes out half their life. The 2 lizards attack at the same time, their electric bolts hitting me in the chest. It doesn't stun me, but I lose another 20% health. Enough of this. I'm not going to die to the first mob I run into. They're small, with no armor, and probably squishy as hell. I run at the first lizard, using lunging strike and attack. I might have been able to kill him with 1 hit a few days ago, but I'm not much of a slouch against something near my level. The first one falls over dead. The second lizard turns to run, but I throw my spear like a javelin and make lizard kebabs. I take a mana and health potion and continue. I also use a few buffs that increase my health and defense. Half of us are in the maze now, and if I don't get a move on, I stand a good chance of getting attacked from behind. Riken won't hesitate to put his sword in my back. A pit awaits me around the next corner. It's filled with spikes designed to impale anyone unlucky enough to fall into its trap. The pit is roughly 30 feet across to the next side, making it impossible to cross for all but the most agile of players. Lucky for me, I have just the tool for the job. I equip Grappler and aim for the sconce holding the torch on the other side of the pit. The grappling hook catches, and I hear movement around the corner behind me. There's no time to waste. I run and jump out into the pit. As soon as I'm in the air, I use Grappler's retractable feature, and it pulls me across. I land on the other side and slide to a stop. On the other side, an elf mage looks back at me. His blood-red cloak conceals a black staff. I give him a wave and disappear around the next corner. The maze splits again, and I decide to go right. I've been in the maze long enough that all the competitors have entered by now. Thunder roars, and the patter of rain mimics the sound of 1,000 footsteps. I need to watch my back. Anyone can be stealthy in this ruckus. Rain puddles along the stone floor, and I'm thankful to be away from the shocker lizards. I make another right turn, and I'm on the outer rim of the maze again. Damn it! I yell. I have to start from the beginning with no way of knowing which path I've taken. Esil! Orden's deep and lively voice echoes down the corridor. Rain has soaked his red beard to the core. He smiles, and I return the gesture, happy to see a friendly face. What are you still doing out here? Wrong turn. You? I was one of the last ones out. I was hoping to find a clue as to which path to take. He looks over his shoulder. I heard about you and the princess. Sorry for you, my friend. It is what it is. This is all that matters right now. Do you want to stay together and watch each other's backs? I extend my arm to him. I'd be honored. He clasps my forearm, and we set off down the hallway. We decide on an entrance where the stone is covered in moss. Several turns later, we come across a giant creature with light green skin, glowing white eyes, and dark black hair. Ogre Mage, level 51, like an ogre, but with magic. Its skin is covered in hundreds of warts, and 2 rough, broken horns protrude from its head. Unlike most ogres, which are covered in the pelts of fallen enemies, this one wears chainmail and leather. One hand holds a damaged sword. The other hand glows bright blue. It unleashes a bolt of magic, and I dodge out of the way just in time. The magical bolt smashes into the wall, sending stone debris scattering across the floor. I equip Staff of the Ancients. Time to try and beat magic with magic. I'm gonna snare him, then you rough him up, I say. Orden's warhammer begins to glow. I cast Haunted Earth, but the ogre uses some sort of fire spell to burn away the roots before they grab him. Next, I use Resilience on Orden, increasing his attack speed. I cast Waterfall, hoping my plan works and the ogre will be where I predict in 2 seconds. Then I run towards him. A magical blast catches me in the shoulder, reddening my vision and slowing me by a fraction. Once I'm close enough, I use Lunging Strike and stun the ogre in place. Waterfall crashes down on him just before Orden connects with his imbued warhammer. The blow sends the ogre flying into the wall with a thud, the impact stunning it again. I switch to my axe and attack. Orden's blows take out far more than mine do, but we end the creature all the same. My XP bar shoots up, nearly at level 25. The ogre drops a few items and some gold, but nothing noteworthy. Merlin trails behind us on foot, the rain making it difficult for him to fly in such a small space. We come to another split in the maze and go left. Someone screams from up ahead, and we run to investigate. A black minotaur stands in the way, 2 gravestones at his feet. Minotaur, level 70. With a thick hide and a propensity for stunning its opponents, the minotaur is not to be trifled with. No thanks. How about we take the other way? Orden nods in agreement, and we retrace our steps. At least we know 2 of our competitors are out of the game. For what feels like hours, Orden and I attempt to navigate the maze. We fight when we can and turn tail when we can't. Sometimes it's better to take the long way around than die trying. We find several more tombstones along the way, making me thankful I have Orden by my side for the moment. The maze is full of traps, from tripwires that cause darts to shoot out to secret tiles that change the course of the maze before our eyes. I try to keep thoughts of Buzz and his mother at the forefront to remind me why I'm here and what I'm playing for. It keeps my energy high and my concentration sharp. The maze suddenly opens into a large room where several corridors stand empty. The sky is dark overhead. Lightning strikes, and I feel my hair stand on end. Merlin softly hoots on my shoulder. Several large gargoyles are mounted on the walls. They are intricately carved, the torches that burn beneath them making the stone guardians almost look alive. Merlin flies across the room, thankful for the extra space, and lands on one's head. Orden and I try to decide which route to take, when I hear a flutter and then the chomp of teeth. Merlin's body falls to the floor, coated in blood. His soft, downy feathers dance through the air, slowly coming to rest behind him. I don't understand what just happened. Merlin lays unmoving on the floor. My senses seem to be failing me. It's harder to hear and see as I rush to Merlin and pick up his small frame in my hands. He doesn't move. Flecks of stone fall on my head. I look up and see the gargoyle's eyes are no longer stone, but a dull yellow. Its arms and legs crack and crunch as it breaks free from the wall and jumps down. I want to curl up and cry. Merlin is dead. I hold him tight against my chest, hoping against hope that he might open his eyes and hoot. I hear Orden's muffled voice behind me as a powerful stone hand connects with my face. Chapter 31. Merlin is dead. I slam into the wall, losing a third of my health from the gargoyle's punch, but the only thing I can think about is Merlin falling to the ground covered in blood. In Pangea, when a pet dies, that's it. They're gone. Merlin is a big part of the reason why I'm here in the first place. I slowly stand up. Merlin would want me to fight. My sight and hearing have returned, but after the enhancements Merlin provided, everything seems muted. Orden stands in the middle of the open room while gargoyles leave their perches and land with a crash all around. Gargoyle, level 57. Winged stone creatures able to blend in with their surroundings, gargoyles are pure magic and turn to permanent stone in technology-only worlds. 3 gargoyles surround Orden and one stands only feet from me. I can't think about Merlin now. I have to fight to survive. Lunging Strike stuns the gargoyle nearest me and I run to join Orden. What do we do now? I ask. Gargoyles have really high magic resistances. We'll need to use our melee attacks. Great. 4 high-level monsters, and I have to rely on my strength. I take a health potion, and my HP slowly recovers. Okay, I'll stun or snare them when I can. If you can hit them into the wall, that's a bonus stun.
Only attack if they can't move. Otherwise, just stay out of their way. Orden nods and lifts his warhammer, ready to fight. Rain continues to pour down on us. Merlin's tiny body has disappeared. I'm sorry I never got to say goodbye to my friend. Anger rises in me again, and this time I can't control it. Haunted Earth roots 2 of the gargoyles in place. I equip my elvish spear and battle axe. I don't care about defending myself. In this moment, I want to make them pay for what they did to Merlin. I cast Resilience on myself and activate Ring of Power's ability, doubling its attack bonus for 30 seconds. Orden lets out a battle cry to my right as we charge the stone monsters. I attack in a flurry, stabbing and slashing with both arms. Orden hits one of the gargoyles with a powerful strike, knocking it into the wall and stunning it. I switch targets and attack the frozen monster. A powerful blast knocks me off my feet and drains my health by another 20%. I'm down to almost half health. 2 of the gargoyles still have full HP. One is down to a third and the other has 75% health. Take out the lowest one first, I order. The gargoyles shoot out magical orbs that explode upon impact. They move slow but pack a powerful punch. One of them hits Orden in the back, but only takes 1/10 of his health. He must have great armor or defensive spells. I run for the weakest gargoyle and use Lunging Strike. Orden and I attack his stone hide. The bonus from Ring of Power wears off, but a glowing strike of Orden's warhammer finishes him. 3 to go. Stone claws rip into my shoulder and my vision goes red. The gargoyle lifts me into the air, and all I can hear are the flaps of its powerful stone wings. It tosses me against the wall, and my health drops like my body, down to 40%. I stand, and one of their magical orbs hits me in the side, knocking me down. 20% HP. Orden fights hard on the other side of the room. He still has 70% health. One of the gargoyles he fights is down to half. "Equip your shield, Esil!" he yells at me. "You can be angry, but you need to live for Merlin's death to mean anything." He's right. I need to be smart. I equip my shield in one hand and my spear in the other. As much as I love my axe, my spear has slightly better stats, and I need every advantage I can get. I cast Haunted Earth and catch the weakest gargoyle in its roots. It roars defiantly as Orden's warhammer crashes against it in a bright flash of light. I get in one good hit before it comes unrooted and I retreat. With 20% health, I need to stay out of the fight. Orden rushes at a gargoyle and takes an orb to the face. It drops his health 15%, but he's able to land a blow that knocks the gargoyle into the wall, stunning it. I cast Resilience on him, boosting his attack speed. I'm too far away to get there in time, so I toss my spear like a javelin and equip my axe. The gargoyle's stone body crumples to the floor. 2 left. A gargoyle hovers in the air to the left of me. I turn to fight, and with a powerful flap of its wing, a gust of wind slams into me, turning everything red and dropping my health to 5%. The gargoyle charges. This is where I die. I came so close, too. An electrically charged arrow cuts through the rain and hits the gargoyle in the chest. Dozens of tendrils erupt from the arrow, covering the gargoyle and stunning it mid-flight. It falls to the ground, unable to move.
Stay out of the way,
orders Alicia. I retreat to a corner, not that I have much choice. I use my last 5 health potions all at once and wait for my health to restore. The princess stands in front of me, firing volley after volley at the stone creatures, flaming arrows, electric ice. A rainbow of arrows fly across the room, some I've never seen before. The gargoyles never have a chance once she shows up. Her arrows keep the gargoyles distracted while Orden attacks them from behind. When the last gargoyle crumbles, the princess faces me and extends her hand to help me up. I return the gesture and she pulls me to my feet.
Esil, I'm so...
You don't owe me an apology, I cut her off. If anyone should be apologizing, it's me. I shouldn't have been so secretive about everything and not expected you to ask questions. It's not your fault your dad's a developer. I realize I'm still holding on to her arm and let go. Thanks for saving me.
Don't mention it. Quite the maze, though, huh?
She asks. Yeah, we best be getting a move on then. Wanna join me and Orden? A smile creeps across her face.
I'd love to.
The smile disappears as quickly as it came and she looks around the room.
Where's Merlin?
My words catch in my throat. I'm not ready to say the words out loud.
Here, didn't make it, Orden answers for me.
Oh, no. Esil, I'm so sorry.
Her words are genuine, matching the hurt on her face. Maybe that's why pets aren't as common in Pangea, at least in the PvP worlds. They aren't just items that can be equipped and replaced. They have personality. They bond with their owners, and just like that, they can disappear forever. We decide on a door and exit back into the maze. The rain stops for a moment, and a brilliant moon shows between the clouds. Something howls nearby, making me long for Fenrir. We wind through the maze, narrowly missing a tripwire for who knows what kind of trap. We defeat a pair of owl bears with the head and wings of an owl. They rough me up a bit, but with a few good snares, we take them down. 2 of our competitors are unlucky enough to try and attack us and meet the same fate. It feels like we've been in the maze for hours at this point, with no way of knowing if we're going in the right direction or who's closest to finding the center. We could have passed by it a dozen times without realizing how close we are for all I know. Around the next corner, a battle rages. 3 werewolves stand battling a warrior in black armor. He wears a helm with the metal horns of a ram that I'd recognize anywhere. Riken. The 3 werewolves are all around half health. They take damage, then gain a little back with each hit. Their lifesteal is incredible. Riken still has 2/3 of his health. Something glows on the other side of their battle. The portal, I say. We can't let him get to it. Riken uses familiar spells against the werewolves. He calls undead hands from the ground, holding them in place. A swarm of black moths smother them. His own lifesteal heals back a portion of the damage the werewolves deal. Then he uses a spell I've never seen before. Riken raises both arms in the air and a black cloud forms overhead. It grows and rumbles, and then 2 bolts of lightning jolt from the cloud, hitting both Riken and the werewolf. Riken loses half his health, but the werewolf dies. "He just sacrificed his own health to kill the wolf," mumbles Orden.
We need to attack him while he's low,
says Alicia. She shoots a flaming arrow that does very little damage. Riken is both a tank and a heavy magic dealer. He turns, finally noticing us.
"Sister,"
he rumbles.
"how nice of you to join us."
He attacks with lifesteal, and a red jet streaks across the hallway, colliding with the princess and taking 20% of her health and restoring it to Riken. The werewolves attack, their razor-sharp claws grating against the Death Knight's shield. He raises one hand, and a moment later, the fallen werewolf rises and attacks its brethren. Each attack raises Riken's health bit by bit.
Take out the wolf!
Yells the princess. She fires arrows at the undead wolf, dropping its health by 1/10. Orden runs for the werewolf, his warhammer glowing a bright yellow. Riken tries to root the dwarf, but Orden dodges it, his warhammer connecting with the undead creature in an explosion of light. The werewolf loses half of its health from the attack, but is on Orden swiftly, clawing and biting. I switch to Staff of the Ancients and cast Haunted Earth, rooting Riken in place, and follow it up with Waterfall. His orange eyes bore into me. He loses a small amount of health, much less than I would have liked. I use my last mana potion. Orden does battle with the undead werewolf while the princess and I attack from a distance. The 2 living werewolves attack Riken from the other side, but his health replenishes as soon as he's attacked. We're in a stalemate until someone runs out of mana. Orden is losing health fast. I need to help him with the werewolf. "I'm gonna help Orden. It's our only way," I tell Alicia. I switch back to my spear and move in closer. If we can take out the werewolf while Riken's attention's away, I can run back to safety without taking any damage. Orden smashes his warhammer into the werewolf, slamming it against the wall and stunning it. I stab with my spear and cast Resilience on Orden. Alicia casts the same spell on me. All of a sudden, I can't move my feet. Undead hands hold both of us in place.
"It's over,"
Riken bellows. The words reverberate in my chest. Red tendrils of magic escape his hands and come right for me. They bypass me and crash into Orden. He has more HP than me. It makes sense Riken would target him. I hear a buzz, and then everything goes black. When the moths disappear, Orden's tombstone sprouts from the ground beside me. I have almost no health, so I retreat to the princess. "We're screwed," I say.
Just stand behind me.
With Orden gone, Riken slays another werewolf. The princess carefully approaches him from behind. She switches out her bow for her elvish sword. It's short and thin, made for fast attacks.
Call off your dogs, Riken. Let's settle this the old-fashioned way.
Riken laughs. It's a deep, heartless laugh that chills me to the bone.
Have it your way, sister. First I'll kill you, then I'll kill your little boy toy.
He tosses his shield aside and pulls out his broadsword. The weapon is as long as me and must weigh several 100 pounds. Sparks fly when their blades touch. For a blade so small, Alicia's parries Riken's attack with ease. The way they move, it's easy to see they might be related. They're two sides of the same coin. The princess lets her guard down for a second, and that's all it takes for Riken to seize his opportunity and strike. His blade catches the princess in the thigh, taking 1/10 of her health. The two undead werewolves keep the living one at bay while Riken battles his sister. With my 5% health, there's not much I can do to help. I watch, a spectator in the great match that will determine my own fate. The princess presses the attack, forcing Riken to defend with blazing speed for a sword so large. She attacks and then takes a step back. When Riken moves to defend, she attacks from the opposite side and strikes between the plates of his armor. His health drops to 40%. Riken's eyes glow brighter with anger from deep in his helm. He counters, but the princess is prepared this time. She blocks each blow in turn. Riken moves just a fraction slower this time. The princess uses it to her advantage and grazes him with her sword. He's down to 35% health. He roars and slashes at Alicia's feet. She jumps, and the blade passes underneath. With Riken off balance, she cuts him again, bringing him to 1/4 of health.
Enough of this!
Furious, Riken casts a spell, rooting the princess in place. The two werewolves bear down on her, covering the stone floor in a splatter of blood. There's an explosion of light, and both werewolves are tossed aside. The princess crawls across the floor to me at 5% health. "Stand up," I say.
It's over.
She responds meekly. "Stand up and attack me."
What?
Confusion paints her face. "Attack me! I have a plan." She nods. I equip my shield and activate its special ability. She brings down her blade on my shield and the blow is blocked. 5% health returns to both of us. It's not a lot, but maybe it will keep us alive. I have an ability. It's strong, but once I use it, I'll be out of mana. So it's really our only shot. It's been too big of a risk to use, but now I don't think there's any other way.
We're going all in?
She asks. All in.
Then I've got something I've been saving too.
We both stand and face Riken. He's killed the final werewolf and now has 3 of the undead creatures at his back.
Ready to say your goodbyes, sister?
He goads. His werewolves march towards us. I equip Staff of the Ancients and cast Firestorm. A small flame forms in the middle of the hallway. Is this some kind of joke? Did my dad pull another prank on me with this spell? Slowly, the fire begins to grow. Wind whips around it, forming a funnel that brings the fire into the air until the storm engulfs the width of the hall. It rises above the ceiling in a monstrous tornado. The princess casts her spell, and the tornado goes dark. Lightning flares from inside it. Then bolts begin darting out in every direction. Red, then blue, then a black bolt that tears through the wall of the maze. I look over to the princess and lose all focus on the storm. Her beautiful ivory skin has changed to a charcoal. Her blue eyes are now red, her blonde hair black. "What did you cast?" I ask.
Storm of Darkness. It was the spell you gave me when we beat the Lich in the dungeon. It's powerful, but in order to use it, I had to change my allegiance to the Dark Elves.
Permanently? I can't believe she'd do that for a chance at victory. Or did she do it for me? She nods. The storm dies away. The walls of the corridor are destroyed in places. A gravestone sits amongst the charred rubble. Riken is dead. The portal awaits us at the end of the hall, but how do we decide who goes through? I feel the warmth of the princess's hand as she takes hold of mine. Together, we walk forward. "I can't believe we did it," I say. Never in a million years would I have thought I could actually win this tournament. And I couldn't. Not by myself. It was my friends who helped me reach this moment.
Go ahead.
Says Alicia.
You earned this.
I couldn't have done it without you. Riken would have destroyed me. It's only fair we do this together. Hopefully half of the prize money will be enough to get treatment started for Buzz's mom, and I can earn the rest in time.
Same time?
She asks. Same time. We hold hands and prepare to jump into the portal, but then Alicia grabs me by the neck and pulls me towards her. She presses her lips to mine. I don't care that it's virtual reality, it feels like the real thing. I close my eyes and feel her lips against mine. Then I feel a hard push against my chest, and the last thing I see is Alicia's face before I go tumbling into the portal. Chapter 32. Trumpets blare as I fall out of the portal. My hands reach at empty air, grasping for Alicia's hand. I can't believe she pushed me through. She should be here with me. We should be accepting the prize together. Hell, she probably deserves to win it more than me. I would have died twice over if not for her. The roar of the crowd takes me by surprise. I look around into a sea of flashing lights. I'm in some kind of coliseum with giant video boards replaying my highlights of the tournament. Behind me, the screen shows the princess and I kissing right before I go through the portal. Thousands of people fill the stands, cheering and clapping. Confetti rains down all around and fireworks ignite in the sky. A firm hand grips me on the shoulder as a man's voice echoes throughout the Coliseum. The first ever champion of the Developers Tournament, Esil Allen! The crowd goes wild at the mention of my name. Wait, they said Allen. Does that mean... Ever since the news went viral, we've had everyone in our data department combing through files and records and are finally able to confirm that Esil is, in fact, the lost son of Howard and Isabel Allen. A man wearing a black suit with blonde hair neatly parted to the side steps up beside me and lowers his voice so the crowd can't hear. We have a lot to discuss in the next few days, Esil. I want you to stop by our offices after the excitement from the tournament has died down. We're glad to have you as part of the Pangea family. I'm just sorry it took us so long to find you. I don't really know how to respond. We don't have to talk now. I know you've been through a lot. I'm Benjamin, by the way, president of Pangea Online Entertainment. I wanted to be here to personally congratulate the winner. Now, let's give the crowd what they've been waiting for. He guides me over to the center of the stage. Many of you have been following along with Esil's journey since the first quest, when an unknown player finished in the top 5. More of you came to love him when you saw his daring acts in the name of friendship and loyalty in the second quest. But how could anyone not love him once we all found out that he was playing not for himself, but for his best friend's mother? Esil, we think that what you're doing is so great that we've decided to cover any medical costs that exceed the prize winnings of the tournament. But first, let's bring out the 2 people you entered the tournament for. They are the reason you never gave up. Let's hear it for Buzz and his mother, Maria. Buzz steps onto the stage, his arm wrapped around his mother. He basks in the applause, waving at the crowd. Buzz was made for the spotlight. He wears a black tuxedo with a bow tie, and Maria wears a long red dress. In Pangea, she's not the weak person I rode with to the doctor. They both smile from ear to ear. Buzz wraps his arms around me once they're close enough. You did it! He yells over the crowd. I never doubted you, but man, I can't believe it. That firestorm, though? Whew, your dad really knew how to build him. You look nice, I say. He runs his finger between the shirt collar and his neck, trying to stretch it out. They made me wear this, said I needed to look presentable. He mimics the last word. Buzz releases me, and his mother and I embrace.
We'll never be able to pay you back for this. I owe my life to you.
I just wanted to do what was right. You don't owe me anything. Buzz and Maria stand beside me, and Benjamin continues talking. I tune him out as he talks about my achievements and what this tournament means to the developers at Pangea. Honestly, I just want to go home and sleep. This day has been exhausting, to say the least. I search the crowd for Grayson and find him sitting on the front row. He gives me a thumbs up, but otherwise, his face is stern. I tune back in when Benjamin talks about the prizes. Not only will Esil be winning 100,000 gold, he'll also be receiving one of the highly sought-after developers' chests. Even we don't know what's inside this one. Congratulations! You have been gifted a developer's chest by Pangea Online. Would you like to open it? Yes or no? I think I'll open this one when there aren't millions of eyes watching my every move. We will also be awarding prizes to the top 3 finishers. In second place, many of you loved to watch the feud between her and her brother Riken. Give a big round of applause for Alicia! When the princess steps up to the stage, her eyes meet mine. Her dark skin and hair are so different from the girl I cleared a dungeon with so many weeks ago. I hope she doesn't regret her decision. Unless she creates a new character from scratch, she's stuck in a dark elf for as long as she has that account. She shakes Benjamin's hand and then pushes Buzz aside to stand beside me. You didn't have to push me through, you know, I say.
I know, but I wanted to. It's not as if you could have stopped me.
She smirks. As runner-up, Alicia wins 10,000 gold and a developer's chest of her own. The crowd cheers for the princess. And in third place, the little camel that could, Dantos. The shrouded player who rode the camel in the second race moves slowly across the stage. Nothing's visible of the player under the shroud. How in the hell did he win third place? From last place in the second quest to third in the maze, your turnaround is nothing short of amazing. You've been awarded a developer's chest as well. Brief movement underneath the shroud is the only acknowledgement Dantos gives. Now that we have our winners, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge all of the developers who played a part in making this tournament a success. Many tournaments take place every day all over Pangea, but this one will always be a place for the best of the best. We're ushered off the stage as Benjamin honors the developers. Nancy, the host for the last 2 stages of the tournament, flies her Pegasus through the crowd, eliciting cheers. Our usher tells us that there will be an after-party if we want to attend, but I'm ready to go home. I need to make the arrangements for Maria as soon as possible. He leads us behind the stage to a portal. Before I step through, Alicia takes hold of my arm.
I'm glad you won. You deserved it more than anyone else.
The kindness in her eyes doesn't match her deadly appearance. Thanks. I couldn't have done this without all of you, though. She goes sheepish for a moment.
I was wondering if maybe you still wanted to meet up now that this is all over?
I would love to. Actually, have you ever been to Pangea headquarters?
Yeah, why?
I have a meeting there in a few days. Maybe you could come along and show me around?
It's a date.
She kisses me on the cheek, and we step through the portal to our own destinations. The treatment for Buzz's mom is a success. The only downside is that there's a medication she must take for the rest of her life, but Pangea Online agrees to cover the cost. Buzz is like a new man when I have them over for dinner one evening. He goes on and on about what people are saying about me in the game. In his free time, he goes from world to world, telling the story of how I overcame the odds and won an impossible tournament. I haven't been out into Pangea since the tournament. I log in and sit with Fenrir in my home portal. Sometimes I read, sometimes I rewatch old footage of Merlin and I. I miss Merlin a great deal. I'm sure the pain will fade eventually, but for now, in spite of all I've won, I feel a bit empty inside. I'll be going to Pangea headquarters in a few hours to talk with Benjamin about my father and my place at the company. It's hard to know what to expect. I don't know anything about game development. First, though, I need to meet up with Orden. There's something I need to give him. A group of dwarves surround the entrance to the Lion's Head pub. Since the tournament, Orden has become the most famous dwarf in all of Pangea. He even has his own band that follows him wherever he goes. I notice a few familiar faces among the crowd. Glorden and Tinker step out to say hi. Good to see you, Esil, says Tinker. I embrace them all around the forearm in turn. You have been a good friend to the dwarves, and you will always have our help when you need it. He parts the others and allows me entry into the pub. Orden sits in the back with Clink. They both have two beautiful elf women on each side of them. Clink gives me a wink as I approach. Orden chugs a mug of ale, some of it running down his chin. "Esil!" he roars. "Good to see you, my friend!" He motions for the ladies to move, and I take a seat across from him at the table. "It looks like you're doing well for yourself. You too, Clink." Sacrificing yourself for the good of another on a stream watched by millions will do a lot for your reputation." He laughs. "Ha! What is it I can do for you, friend?" "Actually, I have something for you." I take the developer's chest from my inventory and set it on the table. "I couldn't have won the tournament without you. Take it." The dwarf's eyes brim with tears. "Esil, I can't." His voice is barely more than a whisper. "You will. This is not a negotiation. I'm thankful for your help, and I want you to have it." He nods and takes the chest off the table. Pangea sends a vehicle to pick me up around noon. I take a nap on the ride and don't wake up until we arrive. The vehicle door opens, and I panic because I'm not wearing my filter mask. I frantically search through the car looking for the mask. I find it on the floor and strap it to my face. Someone laughs outside of the car. "Oh, it's okay, Esil. The air's breathable up here." Benjamin stands outside the door wearing a light gray suit. His face is nearly identical to his avatar in Pangea. His blonde hair is combed neatly to the side. He extends his hand and helps me out of the car. Blue skies surround us, skies as blue as Pangea. I take off the mask and breathe in the fresh air. It cools my lungs in a way I've never felt before. I didn't know there were places in the world like this.
There's a lot you don't know about the world,
says the woman to his side. I'd recognize that voice anywhere. Alicia wraps her arms around me and gives me a hug. I bury my nose in her neck and notice the smell of, what, flowers? I don't really know what they smell like, but I imagine that's how they smell. We let go and I take in her appearance. She's so similar to her avatar, yet different. Her ears aren't pointy, and her hair is darker. A few freckles line the edge of her cheeks. Her eyes are a little more slanted, but there's no mistaking that it's her. "Let's take a walk to my office, and I'll show you around," says Benjamin. Alicia takes my hand as we walk. The outside of Pangea headquarters is a complete mirror of the sky above. Every surface gleams, reflecting the world. Birds fly through the air, and trees blow in the breeze. Is this what the world used to be like? We enter through a set of doors that open at our approach and walk through a lobby. Even the floors reflect my face when I look down. Benjamin takes us to a large office. A glass table sits in the middle of the room with a large wooden chair behind it. A man in a holographic projection talks about the results from the developers tournament. The nicest haptic suit I've ever seen sits in the corner. Several shelves hold books that look like they're about to fall apart. "Collector's items," Benjamin says when he catches me looking. "Have a seat." Alicia and I take a seat in the two chairs across from Benjamin. He intertwines his fingers between his hands before talking. "I heard about your visit at the police station. Unfortunately, everything they said was true. All your parents' property was sold off by the state after 2 years. I am terribly sorry for that. Lucky for you, though, your father did own a piece of the company. Not a huge piece, but a piece nonetheless. Enough that after all these years, you are now a very wealthy man should you choose to sell it. However, if I were you, I'd hold on to it. Sell a percentage so that you can get yourself set up, but don't sell all of it. This company meant a lot to your father, and I think he'd want you to be a part of it. I can set you up with our finance department. They'll help advise you on how to let your money work for you going forward." Benjamin stands from the desk. "As for me, I have a job offer for you. It's a brand new division of Pangea Online, one that your father helped with many years ago. You'd be the first person to try it out, report back to us, and help us make changes with the product going forward." We walk down the hallway and come to a stop in front of a door with a touchscreen lockpad. Benjamin presses his hand against the sensor, and a moment later, the door hisses open. Inside, several men and women in white lab coats buzz around the room.
In the center, there's a tall cylinder filled with a light blue liquid. A face mask and several tubes dangle in the water. I like to think that haptic suits are just the beginning of the user experience. Yes, you can see and hear and touch, but there's so much more to life than that. What if you could smell the flowers as you walk through a field, or smell the iron in the blood of your enemy as you cut through his armor? What if you could taste the food you eat at a tavern or the lips of a woman as you kiss her? Pretty soon, Pangea is going to give that to people, and I want you to help us. What exactly is it you want me to do? I want you to alpha test our full immersion unit. This has been Pangea Online Book 1, Death and Axes, written by Esil Rowland, narrated by Justin Thomas James, featuring Laurie Catherine Winkel as Alicia and the rest of the female cast. Editing and proofing by Dalton Lynn and Griffin Malnar. Editing and mastering by Justin Thomas James. Copyright 2017 by Stephen Rowland. Production copyright 2018 by Stephen Rowland. A Sound Booth Theater production. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please rate and review it. Visit slrowland.com for a complete list of titles and to sign up for his newsletter, where you'll be the first to know about updates and new releases. You can also find Esil Rowland on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. For more audiobooks by Sound Booth Theater, visit soundbooththeater.com. Thanks for listening.